everyone. Thank you for joining me as I count down the top 10 best movies that I've seen so far for 2022 for half the year. So from January to June. So if it came out after that, it won't be on this list. So movies like Thor, Love and Thunder and Nope will not be on this list, but they probably will be on my end of the year list. First off, I just want to show honorable mentions, the movies that I saw this year that I enjoyed, that may be really good, great, but didn't make my top 10. They weren't my best movies that I saw and enjoyed this year. These movies are on your list. Argue me in the comments below why they should be. So let's jump into number 10. Coming in at number 10 is Lightyear, a new Pixar film that's finally in theaters. They have been regulated to Disney Plus for a long time, but this movie was finally in theaters and it didn't do too well and it got some negative reviews, but I went to see it in the theaters and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really great film, really good film, with Chris Evans playing the voice of Buzz Lightyear and taking a more serious approach to him, and that's the reason why Tim Allen couldn't do this version, because Buzz was a little bit more goofy. It's a really cool sci-fi story with time dilation and time travel, and a story about community. It has a lot of heart in it, and it's really fun. It has the kiddie silly jokes, but also has a message there for the adults to enjoy. So I really enjoyed this movie a lot, and hopefully it gets a sequel. Coming in at number 9 is another sci-fi film, and this one's coming from Netflix, starring Ryan Reynolds and an actor I've never seen before, a young actor, Walter Scobell, in another time travel movie where Ryan Reynolds goes back in time to meet his younger self to stop something that's gonna change the world, end the world, and we go on this journey where he starts to discover things about himself, and the younger version starts to discover some things about himself. But the core of this movie, what makes it great, is that you already know Ryan Reynolds' shtick, how he does his thing, but Walter Scobell matches him bar for bar all times, and it made the movie really funny but also heartfelt. Mark Ruffalo, Jennifer Garner, and all these other people did a great job as well. I have a full review, so if you need my full in-depth thoughts, you can check that out on my channel. The link will be down below. Coming in at number 8 is a movie that caught me by surprise. I was not anticipating it. I almost didn't watch it, but a few people that I respect said that they thought the film was a blast, and I have to agree. And that's Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, the reboot sequel kind of movie that they did, and it was just such a blast to watch. A nostalgia trip of all the types of animations that I watched as I was younger, while telling a good heartfelt story of some characters that I really liked when I was younger. I used to love to watch Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers when I was younger, and this got that magic again with the journey. Doubled down on it and added some really cool nostalgic and licenses that I don't know how the heck Disney got to put into this movie, ranging from the Batman to South Park to many others. If you grew up in the 90s, early 2000s, this movie will be a joy for you. Coming in at number 7 is the most divisive movie maybe that came out this year, and that is Alex Garland's sci-fi horror film Men, a movie that I watched in the theaters and I could not believe what I was seeing. The last 20 minutes of this movie is some of the most disturbing, weird, but most powerful, emotional stuff that I've seen in a movie ever. I know a lot of people don't like it because it's a bit of a slow burn. They feel like it doesn't add much to the conversation because it talks about generation passing down toxic masculinity, but I think that it's if you really think about it, you have conversations about the movie, it sparks really good debate, which is the point. While also you're watching a very weird, awkward, disgusting movie that I don't think I'll ever see anything like it again. Coming in at number 6 is a blockbuster that I was not anticipating at all, and a lot of movies surprised me this year because I didn't see the original, but you do not need to see the original. I have a full review for this one. It's Top Gun Maverick. This movie blew me away. It's such a great time in the movie theater. It's still in the movie theaters right now. You should definitely go see it in the theaters. That's the type of experience. You bring a bunch of friends, you go watch it in the theater and get blown away by not only the acting, the heart, the emotional drama that's there, but the firefights that they have in this, from the train to the actual mission, because they use practical effects. Amazing. I have my full review. If you want my full thoughts, that'll be down below as well. Number 5 is coming from India and it's RRR. It came out early this year, but I caught it on Netflix. It blew me away. It's a 3-hour action, comedy, romantic, sing-along movie that is just epic in all proportions. The action, some of the best action that I've seen in a long time. The direction is done really well. The characters are so full of life and character and funny, and just when they need to get serious, they're so badass. Some of the most badass action you're gonna see all year or the last couple years. This is a really great movie that I wish I got to see in theaters. Get a chance, definitely check it out on Netflix, even if you have to take a break because it is 3 hours. But it goes by so fast because the movie is paced pretty well. It's some pacing issues, maybe a little bit toward the middle, but overall the good outweighs the bad. Coming in at number 4 is a movie that is from Pixar but didn't go to the movie theaters, and it probably should have. It was Turning Red. I absolutely love this movie. The cringe from the teens, the story elements they have of, once again, I think this year has been about passing down trauma from your parents to the kids and the parents apologizing. Everything was so cute and fun and bright, and it just had the right amount of laughs and right amount of cultural references that really made me be engaged, and also just the story of them using this girl turning into a panda of a coming of age story to kind of being metaphoric for her period and becoming more ladylike, I guess you can say. Ending was really great, and it got a tear to my end. You know my rule: if a movie can make me tear up, it's good. Coming in at number 3 is one of my most anticipated movies that I was anticipating coming into 2022, and that's The Northmen. This movie rocked on all ends. This is a Shakespearean, gory, epic that I think that is not super mainstream. It's a lot weirder than I expected it to be because Robert Eggers, the director, wanted to really show how these Vikings were living back then, and he did a bunch of weird stuff, but the action and the story is really great. It's basically the story that inspired Hamlet taken to the next level with some of the most beautiful shots and the most gory action that I've seen in a long time. I have a full review for this one as well. Check it out. The link will be in the comments below. Coming at number 2 is my new favorite Batman movie, The Batman. I think that this movie was an absolute masterpiece because this is the Batman that I've always wanted, a detective story where he is actually the focal point. I feel like in past Batman movies, the villains were the focal point. They were the stars of the show. They overshone Batman, even with, some of the Batman movies that I really like the Christopher Nolan trilogy, Joker, and stuff like that. Really is the ones you remember. But in this one, Robert Pattinson knocked it out of the park playing this broody, young, reckless Batman that's still learning a lot while being obviously Paul Dano, this crazy sociopath killer Riddler. I think that all the characters here were great, and I really love this movie, and I watched it multiple times already. I have a full review if you want to see my full thoughts. I go really in depth, so as I said before, link will be down below. Not only is this movie my number 1 movie of the year, not only do I think that there's no movie even close, the gap between 1 and 2 is huge. This might be my favorite movie of all time, and that's Everything Everywhere All at Once, starring Michelle Yeoh, directed by the Daniels. This is a fantastic movie that is off the wall, crazy, bonkers, combines things that I feel like is part of the series The Matrix, but is just silly as jackass, and has fantastic performances across the board, some great action, and one of the best, most heartfelt stories about generational trauma, nihilism, extremism, and things that can really hit your heart if you let it in. Some of the silly points can probably take away from the serious points if you let it, and it can get really bogged down in some of the sentimental moments, but I enjoyed every single part of that. The movie is just perfect to me, and I really enjoyed it, and I recommend it to every single person. If it's not in the theater anymore, I think it's getting re-released. Check it out in the theaters. If you get it in IMAX, do that as well. This movie is fantastic. So, Let me know what you think of my top 10 list and some honorable mentions that I've seen this year. Is there any movies that you feel like I left off and I need to see, or I might have saw them and I didn't put them in any of these 15 to 20 movies that I listed off? Drop your list down below. Let me know in the comments and we can discuss and debate on what movies were great. Did you think some of the movies I liked sucked? And hit that like button if you're a subscriber. And if you're not already a subscriber, subscribe to the channel, like the video, hit the notification bell to be notified of all my review, ranking lists, and reactions. And you can watch more of my content right now.